It's the morning after. Welcome to the aftermath show. I call it this one. We don't have a lot of great things to talk about. We're going to break it down for you. Preseason game number 2 in the books. Didn't look good. There's a plan. If you were live with me last night, you saw an outline of what could be the plan. I'm not convinced of it. So we're going to break it down for you. Daniel Harms is the man next to me you always see here. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday morning. Atypical time for us to have a stream.
Yeah.
But we need to talk and kind of get this thing out. And I just want to ask you, Dan, are you recovered? It's East Coast time for you now. So how was watching this one?
I could not stand it, honestly. I couldn't stand being awake at 10 o'clock to watch the beginning of a football game, much less have to watch it all the way through past midnight. It was not good for me. I'm feeling okay. I woke up. Whenever I stay up late now, I get like this headache hangover. Like it's not even just like from drinking. I don't drink that much, and it's just I need to sleep more headache. So I had that this morning, and so that wasn't great. But overall, I didn't feel as bad as the Chiefs felt last night. I think what we got to see was teams that are younger that have more to prove, have a little bit more fight in preseason games than the Kansas City Chiefs do. Now, whether that is a good or a bad thing, we'll kind of wait and see what the season brings. However, I can tell you that they don't play with enough fire. If we had to see Patrick Mahomes against the Carolina Panthers last year at halftime say we have to play better football, and they come out in a preseason game and there's just no fire, oh, there might be something going on there.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was pretty disappointed. And you know how I feel. I want to see the defense pull its side of the ball as well. And when you know, and you walk into the game, it's a two-edged sword. When you know you're not going to have Mahomes that night, you're not going to have Kels that night, you're not going to have Chris or Nick Bolton that night. It does two things. And in my mind, I think one is maybe worse than the other. One, you should see it if you were one of those defenders as an opportunity to shine. Listen, our leaders aren't out here. We need somebody else to help step us up. I can do that. I can be that guy. That's what in my mind is option number one. The other one is you stand there and quiver because holy crap, our leaders aren't out here. And that's what it felt like a lot of guys did last night. Not all of them, certainly not guys that are starters that were playing, at least initially. And I'm talking about the first couple of drives, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I'm just completely disappointed in the linebacker level. I mean, Leo was out there. He must have been looking around for like, where the hell are the other linebackers? Because I thought Leo did his job. I don't think he was able to compensate for other linebackers not doing their jobs, but I felt for him a little bit. Even my guy Bassa, who I think played well, he just doesn't have the bulk. When you have to line him up as a single middle in a one linebacker formation and ask him to shoot the gap, okay, he shot the gap. If he has to take on a guard, you're in trouble. We all know this. I still think he's the fourth linebacker in terms of like productivity. He just can't be asked to stand in between the tackles and take on offensive linemen.
They saw Jack Cochran and Cole Christensen out there, and they said, Bassa, you have to get out there and do something.
Right?
And guess what? He hasn't been in the NFL long enough to take on these offensive linemen. It's the same that we have to see. When you go from safety to linebacker in college, okay, we have a little bit of room to spare because offensive linemen aren't as good, they aren't as heavy, they aren't as bulky, they don't get on you as fast. So he had time. We saw Jeffrey Bassa last night make some good plays. But when any offensive lineman gets on him, guess what? He doesn't have the muscle mass. He doesn't have the power to disengage. He gets swallowed up. So Jack Cochran, you're a really good special teams guy. Stay there. We can't watch this. That he was out of position every single drive. He was in bat. He allowed Jake Bobo to score on a screen pass. No offense, if Jake Bobo is scoring on you in a screen pass, you got some real issues. He was right there. He saw it happen, and he was 5 yards away from the play. You can't do that. If you are this late, honestly, he's entering his fourth year in the defense, through third or fourth year. If you can't figure out where to be in this defense, you can't be on the field. And if they have to rely on a rookie to come in because you're playing awful, bad football, there's a bigger problem there. So they can't afford to have injuries at linebacker at all because if you have Bassa out there, all right, if they're passing, you feel better about that. You're going to have to send him a blitz after blitz after blitz because he's not going to be able to play against the run, and you can't trust your linebackers to do that. And the depth there is just not good. Not to mention the defensive tackles, and when you don't have Chris Jones out there, don't really take on the run like at all.
I mean, when the rookie rolls his ankle again, one that he rolled like the second practice of camp, and has to go get taped up and come back in and played into at least the end of the third quarter. I thought I saw him in the fourth too, but we'll have to check the stats. That's a bad sign that you don't have enough. And this is not about Mike Pennell not doing his job. Mike Pennell can do his job. He just can't do it enough. He doesn't have, he's 37, 38 years old, whatever he is. He's not going to give you 90 snaps in a ball game stopping the run, right? And I got to tell you, I think the whole team on the offensive side too, we're not just talking about the defense.
Yes.
They missed an opportunity to step up and be that, hey, I want to be the next guy. But unfortunately, in that process, they let everybody know, oh, we really can run absolutely all over them. So guess what you're going to get for the next 6 to 8 weeks of the season?
Yes.
You're going to get run at constantly. So you've bought yourself that little addition. Now, the theory that our friend Matt Derrick put out is that this was by design. They were saving this because of the Brazil trip in particular. They wanted the starters to play in game 3. Completely atypical. And this has been an atypical camp all the way around. I like where Matt's coming from. I'm not sure that I like the plan as much. If you're going to play the starters longer in game 3 because you're trying to get ready for the Brazil game, then that's going to be the lasting impression. I don't think any team, in week 5's coming back to the second preseason game once you see Mahomes back on the field and the offense doing what it does. But that's a risk in my mind. What do you think?
I just don't understand what benefits them from starting more in the next game. What benefit does that have? If you're going to start them one game or the other, wouldn't you have them, I guess, do it now, get more of those reps now, and then you get to kind of rest for a couple of weeks and then they make that trip? But I don't know. I don't think the theory for me holds up because I don't think it makes a lot of sense either way. You still get a week off before the game. Like this is not they are going from preseason week 4 to week 1. So they're going to travel next week. So we're going to wait. I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but we'll kind of, I guess, see what happens. At the end of the day, offensive line need to play more. They needed to play more. I don't care that you want that. If that's the plan, you have a brand new left side of your offensive line and a young side of your offensive line, and you gave them 10 snaps yesterday. And if you're trying to correct on the fly, if you're trying to get them more reps against power, because we saw it, guys, the Chiefs defensive line minus Chris Jones doesn't have a lot of power. They don't have a lot of power. So you have to get them those live reps. And it's clear as day when you watch Kingsley Suamataia. He's still trying to figure out how to get that. Even Josh Simmons is still trying to understand the power, the speed to power. And both of these guys, we're going to transition to kind of more offensive line talk here with the first team. I know people are going to talk about it and want to talk about it, but both of them got displaced vertically and they stepped on each other. I saw Kingsley step on Creed again. I saw Josh Simmons step on Kingsley. When that's happening, because you're trying to adjust to the speed and the power of the game, it's a completely different animal. I tweeted this out earlier today. Offensive linemen transitioning into the NFL, the speed to power is different. It's completely different. It's not the same. So when we saw last year with the Rams, Jared Verse come out and bully tackles, everyone was like, whoa. That's not normal, because in college it's not normal for you to be able to do that, to do those things. So think of it the opposite way. Now they have to get, especially if you already had base problems, which Kingsley did. He didn't get many live reps last year against teams. He got beat by speed early as a tackle. Now he's transitioning to guard, and he's got to learn to do that, but also get more reps against actual power. And you gave him 10. You give him 10 yesterday when he's trying to learn a new position, a new left tackle, and how to adjust on the fly to making those corrections against power. I don't like the plan. I don't like it because you're not setting yourself up for early success. But again, this is what Andy Reid does. They don't care about early success. They don't. And I understand the frustration. I understand all of it. They have proven year after year after year after year, I'll keep going, that December, January, and February is all that matters to them. So you're going to be frustrated, Swag. Everyone's going to be frustrated. I'm going to be frustrated. They do not care. And I'm sorry to put that on you guys right now.
I got to tell you, there's a song that I've been listening to all summer long. It's Zach Brown's new one, um, and one of the first lines in it is, "I'm just sitting around here running out of F's to give," and that's where Andy's at. He just doesn't give one anymore. The preseason process is just about evaluation. They're not getting ready for the season, and I agree with you. It's frustrating to me. I just hope that if this is the plan, that what we see is exactly what you said. We're at least the pair of them, if not more of the offensive line,
Yeah.
stay in longer. Like I'm looking at the snap counts, and I'll share them here with you guys. And we are going to get to your questions. This is like a modified post game, obviously, because I couldn't stay up till 2 a.m. or whatever it was last night. Just looking at them, it's super clean where they made the changes. It is, especially at tackle, it's like boom, boom, boom. That's what we're doing. So they had a predetermined plan. They don't care about this situation. They don't care about sustaining the ball. And the guy that I think had a little bit of plus from it, but maybe more minus, and still I thought performed pretty well was Gardner Minshew. Like if
Yeah.
Pat did have to miss a game or two, I feel better now than I did after preseason game number 1 that Garner can get in there and get something done with the ones. And I thought that was important as well, that maybe they should have given a little more time with the ones with Gardner as well. But that just ain't part of the plan, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. He looked like the second drive he got comfortable, right? He started to,
Mhm,
but again, that was different. It wasn't the first team offensive line. I thought they did a good job of trying to move the ball. I think that he's going to do a good job as the backup, and I think the play style for Gardner has to be very different than the Carson Wentz. The ball will come out fast, like he wants to play that way. I
mhm,
also saw something not just from this game, but last game. Bailey Zappi made a seam throw down the right
mhm.
seam in last game. Gardner made one down the left seam yesterday. That is a structurally different attack approach, mentally speaking, than the Chiefs typically do. So I wonder if that's coached, if that's being coached into it, because Patrick was talking in the interview last night with Ari and Trent Green. Like the plan is that defenses are trying to make them throw the football down the field because they haven't been successful at it. So if
Mhm.
we have a little bit more of let's throw the football down the seams, maybe we'll actually get some explosivity. But in order to do that, you have to let your offensive line function properly. So what happens? You need more reps, you need more live reps, you need more time, you need a little bit more chemistry. So everything has to hit in that moment. So I understand the frustration, guys. I think Gardner is going to be a really good backup for the Chiefs, and I think that was very good to see him get out there and kind of recover from that first drive that ended disappointingly. But I was pretty happy with the with what he did. Obviously, we have some more things to talk about as well that we
We
weren't
do.
exactly.
We do. And kudos to the rest of the quarterbacks. Chris Lucan looked better than Zappy did. I will say Bailey recovered a little bit because especially there was that one blitz where he had to get the ball out pretty quick. I can't remember who it went to, but this is what he was in college. He was able to read, decide, and get the ball out quickly. That was his bread and butter. And so that's why I still have high expectations for him. I don't know that he can catch up and remain
Yeah,
on the practice squad here in town or not. But I hope that he gets one more chance because I thought that he made a step forward. But Ludicon looked comfortable. Obviously, he's been doing this for a while. I just don't know what upside there is there, especially if Gardner looks as good as we think he is. So, with that
hmm
said, those are our general takeaways. I'll pull up the snap counts. We'll go through them. And kudos to Anthony Reinhardt, who
yes,
makes a great visual of the snap counts. And Matt brought it up, but I talked to Anthony, and I think he's great at what he does, and we'll use that a little bit today. But we're going to answer your questions, and we're going to start with our first super chat, folks. It's not a Q&A, but we're going to answer as many questions as we can. Super chats will definitely get an answer. So thanks, Ian. Nice to see you. Does Charles Menny, who look washed, for what I saw, the second string lineman, we're pushing him around. I won't say that I disagree, but it was across the board. I felt like this whole thing was, holy crap, it's raining. Nobody worry about it. Nobody get hurt. Don't worry about your footing. Like everybody
that
just
didn't matter anyway.
no. I mean, except for Ludicon, right? He's like the only one that I saw
Yeah.
actually fall because of the field. So I don't know. It just felt like the whole thing was like, okay, this is just a practice game in the rain. We're not going to put much into it. That's how I felt about the whole damn team. You?
Yeah, it's how it felt, and I understand. I know there's the comments going on right now about how teams need to play with a little bit more fire. To an extent, I don't disagree. I don't want to waste that fire in the preseason. I want you to see it more in the regular season. I want to see it in week 1. So if they come out week 1 and they're not amped up and they don't actually want to do that, okay, we can have more of a serious conversation about how systematically not doing it and not getting geared up properly might have a mental impact on the Chiefs in the way that they play. But overall, Charles doesn't look good. I'll be honest. I've watched back-to-back weeks. He looks slow. He's not winning. He's not holding up against the run as consistently as he did before. Is that effort? Is it preseason and he doesn't really want to put it in? Is he just, again, he's on a 1-year contract, buddy? You want to get paid again?
Right.
What are you doing? What are you doing here? The preseason might be for rookies and guys that need to prove it, right? For 1-year contract guys, this is just as important as it is for them. It feels like he's coasting a little bit, and whether that's true or not, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not on in his mind. I don't have actual insight into that. But all I saw this offseason from Charles was, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go, and he's been putting videos out here and there talking about it. Go check this out. I'm not seeing that in the field.
I agree. There wasn't a whole lot of push. I thought Jerry Tillery got pushed around again quite a bit.
Yes, very much so.
I thought Pennell was doing his thing. Mike's not a pass rusher. I'm sorry, Mike. At his age, he's here to be the elder statesman, to help Chris, and to bring some levity and to crush the run. And I think he's absolutely capable of doing that. I just don't think he can give you more than 30 snaps a game and still have gas to go. So putting all your bet onto Omar, if they really believe that bulking him up, making him play one tech this year, giving him some reps at 3, in obvious passing downs with Chris, okay, but that's a lot to put on a rookie. And he's a guy that, yes, his tires have a ton of tread on because he wasn't used that much at Tennessee. A lot of people were super concerned about that draft week, especially in the aftermath of the pick. We were always comfortable with it because we knew that there was longevity built in there, right? But they're ready to use that up right now, and that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation because, like you said, we felt like defensive tackle should have been attacked a little bit more than just with the Omar Norman lot pick. And again, it's a bet on upside, which I'm totally fine with. But then you need to come back and give yourself some floor. I don't think they did that at all. And I will say, I don't want to just keep talking negatively about the defense. I thought that Marlon Tuipulotu played very well. He had some really good pass rush snaps in terms of pushing the pocket. I'm not expecting him to win a ton, but you did see him push guards and center into the backfield, making the quarterback move. He had a couple of run stops where he was able to get in the hole and actually be what he did. So, but we have to take it with a grain of salt. It's second team offensive line. It wasn't the first team. But later in the game, we saw Lovett as well as Lazard go out there on the defensive line as well. But it's a tough situation that the Chiefs have, again, put themselves in. It does feel like they want to take players with upside, athletic and explosive upside, and fit them into their defense, which I'm not always huge on. And we've seen it with FAU not work out. And I'm going to tell you right now, he looked far worse this week than he did last week.
He did. And I know you said he had one where he had the best get off that you'd seen yet, right?
It was
one snap. Exactly.
And I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I'm the resident love FAU, want him to do well. If you've got Charles Omenihu and Ashton Gelati out there playing more than you and earlier than you, it's probably over for you. If you can't get Mike Dana reps, if Mike Dana is outpacing you as a 5th-round pick, who's, let's be very honest, just fine player, a fine defensive end, if you can't get more snaps than that, it might be over. And again, I gotta look myself in the mirror about that because I do think that he's one of the players that they took and wanted to fit him to their defense. But also, you were fast in college. Putting weight on doesn't prevent you from watching the football and getting off on the snap. It does not prevent you from doing that. So I have to recognize that it's not clicking and something has to change. Most likely him not being on the roster.
Yeah, I have to think that that's the way it's going. And here is the thing from Anthony, and give Anthony a follow, would you guys?
It's awesome.
Statbutler.com. It's his Substack, much like our R33.com. And you can find him. He doesn't have his Twitter handle on here, but I'll put that up here in a bit. And this is what you're talking about. Like, Amenhu's playing early first half, right? but Dana and Karlaftis came off the field. I
Yeah.
actually thought that Dana got about the same snaps, but it looks like he had a 2-snap gap, and he played 8 snaps. That's not getting your starters ready if that's what's going to happen.
A real
Charles played
quick
a ton.
aside. A
Mhm.
real quick aside. Just he's gonna keep talking about that. The one thing that tipped me off about this game was that even George Karlaftis was getting blown off the ball. George Karlaftis, who is an effort power based guy, was getting the woodshed taken to him in the run game. That tipped me off that this was not going to be fun to watch. Go ahead.
I'm also going to say this out loud. I do think that there was a lack of motivation. I do think this was a throwaway game for this team. I don't think
Yeah.
that the staff was like, you guys got to go out there and actually play to win. I don't think that happened. But I will say this too. On the opposite side, the Seahawks are a middling team at best with a quarterback that I like, and I think Sam Darnold can still bring something to, but
Yeah.
most of the league has them finishing last in their division. This was a big thing for them, especially those guys that weren't playing wanted to see somebody go be aggressive and take something to someone. And if the Chiefs aren't going to play hard and the Seahawks are, this is what it is. And everybody
Yeah.
wants to talk about parity in the league. This is what happens. Bad teams, if they give 100% effort and you don't, can still beat good teams. That's the truth. This is a hairline league, I call it, because
Yep, I agree.
any given Sunday, it could be tough. So back to this, but you see how, as you were saying, Amenahue is up there, Ashton was up there, and I thought went up and down. I felt like he did better on his 2-hand bowls when he could get both hands in there and actually extend, even though he's not the longest guy. I felt like he did a good job getting under pads. I'm really happy with Ashton's progression to this point, and I think his place in the rotation will continue to grow. But as you said, Felix like buried here. The only guy that he played ahead was Malik Herring, who actually outplayed him in terms of performance.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. So I am concerned as well. And to his defense, FAU is in Clyde Edwards-Helaire's situation.
Yep.
He was overdrafted to begin with, and I don't know that he's ever going to be able to live up to that. So for him, he may need a new start just to get back to normal, to tell you the truth. I don't know if that's the way it'll go, but that might be the best thing for him. Morning, FLDB, thank you. I did see the other message, and I will get back to you in Discord. Just tied up yesterday. And folks, if you want to get into the part of the community, Discord is where it's at. Members get into the Discord. You just got to join the rookie level or above so you can get into that as well. And back to Ian, thank you for your super chat and the support. We appreciate you. We'll get going through some more of these as you guys add them. What do they need to fix? I don't think they need to fix guard yet. I'm concerned about safety. I'm really concerned about corner now. DL, yes. Running back, I think it's sorted itself out. I think my guy Carson is likely going to be on this team at this point because I don't think they have faith in Mitchell. And what I liked about Smith is he actually weaved last night. I told Matt, I wrote he's weaving through the offensive line. I haven't said that since Jamal Charles was here. So they haven't had a back like that. And he wasn't great, but he was good, and he will grow in that role. It is new to him. But the fact that they rolled out old Carson early, I still feel like was a plus, not a negative.
I don't disagree. I still feel like he's going to be a fullback on this roster, not on the running back. But again, it counts with the running backs. So, I mean, I'm not saying that Elijah Mitchell is not going to make the roster, but you guys, when we first did the hot takes, guys aren't going to make the roster, Elijah Mitchell was like the first name out of my mouth because it's a 1-year contract on a running back with injury problems. He's not as explosive as he was years ago. So I'm not saying he's not going to make the roster, but right now the pecking order suggests he's not going to make the roster, at least by what we have seen. And he's already Rashad Smith. I want everyone to not read too much into what Kent Swanson. I love Kent, friend of the show. He does not remind me of DeAnthony Thomas. Okay, he tweeted that out. He does not remind me of DeAnthony Thomas in terms of look, maybe usage. Fine, he's 20 pounds plus heavier than DeAnthony Thomas, and he actually can play running back. He feels the position much better. So I think it was more tongue in cheek from Kent, but I saw a lot of people agreeing with that. I don't think that's a realistic expectation anyone should be putting on Rashard Smith. However, usage, I think you might see a lot of that specifically because they want to get 2 running backs on the field. I think, more often.
Yeah.
He can play slot, he can play out wide and things like that.
I agree. And the motions alone will manufacture matchups. And I just want to throw this up because Don just put this out. He fell down in the end zone. He did, but that's because both the guards missed their blocks. And because the reach at the center was
In the
not there.
center, yeah.
Yeah. And I can't necessarily put that on. It wasn't greatest by Mitchell. But
Correct.
when you have that many pounds of man bearing down on you in the end zone, there's not a whole lot that the running back can do other than just cut it up into nowhere and get pummeled. So
Yeah.
I agree with you, Don. I just wanted to set that out there. I was really disappointed in the offensive line on the
Agreed.
end of the game in particular. I thought the twos were going to be better prepared.
Can we talk real quickly about the Chiefs' possibilities in the run game?
Sure.
Everyone wants to hate on Kingsley as a pass protector, guys, but that dude absolutely moves people in the run game. I don't know what it is, what the mentality is. Maybe it's just more thinking required as a pass protector, but that left side can move people. They can run the football. And under my tweet last night, I said, realistically speaking, if Kingsley is going to continue to struggle with understanding his base, understanding how to play with better balance and take on real power, what's the best way you can do that? Run the football. Because if you can run the football, you can run play action pass. If you guys watched the game last night, which I know most of you did, how the linebackers were in hell. They were in hell. They had no idea what was coming because, play action pass here. We want to stop the run. So you've got linebackers up at the line of scrimmage, and there's a ton of space. So if you can help out your offensive line, you can help out Patrick Mahomes by default, give him more time, make him more comfortable, and you help your guard, your young left side, get more comfortable. They want to be people movers. They want to run the football and impose themselves physically. Look at back at what the Seahawks offensive line did all night long. That's how they want to play. So I'm not here to tell you that Kingsley's going to develop into an LDT. Like, I'm not saying he's going to do that. But the struggles early on for LDT were very similar. They were very similar in trying to figure that out. So we have to stop with this immediate, give me results now. I understand you want to win Super Bowls. I understand you want to watch this team do it. Right away, rookies develop at different rates. Josh Simmons is going to make Kingsley at tackle look bad. It's going to happen. It's going to look real bad. But give him some time because there is legitimately real good guard play that can come out of him, especially if he can continue to run block like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I will say the opposite is true for Josh Simmons. I felt like I thought he was a better run blocker in college than what he showed last night.
Right.
He was fine against the pass, but like it just didn't feel. Again, I didn't pin this on him, but watching him, it just didn't feel like there was enough. I need to go make this block. There just wasn't enough emphasis on this game. Is the way it felt.
Agreed.
And if we look at it, this is the cutover. That it was drastic for both these positions.
Yeah.
Josh and Jalen came out at 10 snaps. The rest of the starters come out at 10 snaps. Like, that's all you're going to get. We're going to give you one drive, bada boom, it's over. And to your earlier point, I think that's difficult. But I think what we're now going to see is the Brazil game against the Chargers. We're going to see more of this because they didn't get more reps now.
Yeah,
and
right.
I will say one thing in Kingsley's defense. I did feel that while he's still kind of like, I thought I saw him get crossed in his own feet again for a second week in a row. I did feel like he was at least moving a little quicker at the initial snap. So that was a modicum of a little bit of progress, which is something I was really pissed off about last week. So
yeah, and then he did get beat around the edge one time because he wasn't getting off the block. But I will say the first time he got knocked off of his feet, the very next snap, when he had his feet under him and he had control, when he attacked with his hands, he was able to strain. If you go back and watch that first drive where he gets pushed back on that pass block snap, I don't remember which one it was. The very next one, he gets pushed back, but then he reestablishes and he recovers and he strains. Okay, I want you to watch that because that is why he needs to play more. If he can consistently do that, he can learn on the fly of how to adjust and use his hands more and strain. So that's why we are kind of frustrated with only 10 snaps here and 12 snaps last week.
Absolutely. And if you guys don't know, we've been going through quite a bit in terms of what the league allows and that kind of thing. You'll see that our film rooms, hopefully you're still watching the film rooms as you should be. They're not quite NFL approved because of the way the NFL is doing things these days.
Shocker.
So what I'm probably going to do is some of the things that I really want to show you, I'm going to show you in the members videos because we don't want to get tagged. So we are not the biggest channel any longer, so they seem to want to pick on us a little bit. So we're gonna get out of the way, dodge that bullet. So you'll see some in the members videos coming. So just be prepared for that, and we will continue to answer this. It's a great question, Lee. As far as safety goes, I didn't think Mike Edwards looked terribly great. So this feeds back to what I said last week, that he's going to take the Deion Bush thing. He should be on the practice squad and call him up if you have to have someone. But right now, I'm letting CRW play that safety role and just roll with it.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble. I'm going to be honest. Hicks hasn't been great in preseason either. He's playing a lot too. I just wonder if they're trying to get him ready for his role, what it's going to be. Again, I want you guys to all take what I say with a grain of salt because it's the preseason, okay? And we have seen that the Chiefs treat preseason a little bit differently than other teams. So we have to remember that not everything is the same. So effort-wise, I'm not saying that they're on purpose fully not playing to the top that they possibly can. But I also wouldn't be shocked. Don, that's a bit much, please. I don't believe that's accurate. Hicks does not suck. He does not suck at football.
No, not at all.
There's a lot being asked of him. There's a lot being asked of CRW now because of the injuries. Also, Mike Edwards is bad. Mike Edwards is bad. He was out there in the third quarter, guys, as a veteran. Yeah. Again, 1 year deal. So
I mean, the only guys that played after him were guys that we hadn't seen yet in Glendon Miller or Major Williams, right? And I'm just looking at the game here over here. I'm not going to put it on the screen. But they have Hicks trying to do the transition that Brian Cook did. And as you see, the Chiefs have faith in Brian Cook. Steve Spagnuolo and Dave Merritt believe in Brian Cook. He's going to be the starting safety. As much as we might be a little concerned about the tackling, I'm still in his corner. I know a lot of Chiefs Kingdom isn't. That's okay. They believe in him. He's going to be out there. It took him a couple of seasons to transition. He did have the knee thing too. I think it's the same thing for Hicks because I'm looking at the first drive and Hicks is single high again. Yeah. Doing things that he is not accustomed to doing. So give Hicks a little bit of time because they're trying to make him a fully formed, well-rounded safety that they can put anywhere because that's what Steve and Dave want. They want interchangeable safeties everywhere.
I'm going to say this one time, then draft safeties that do that in college. That's all I'm going to say. I understand that they love the way he plays, and that's the way that they want defensive backs to play. Draft a guy who has the range to play single high and did it in college. There's a ton of them, but honestly, Najee Johnson might be your best pure safety on the roster right now. But he's playing corner, so and honestly, I do think that there's some upside with CRW at free. And strong and nickel. I think that there's some upside there. He's got more twitch to be able to turn his hips and run, which I think will come in handy. But overall, this is part of the problem with wanting to play a little bit more single high, but only drafting guys that fit in your too high and slot vision or box vision is that they take time to adjust. And if they can't visually or physically, and unfortunately in Brian Cook's case, get it done, then it's going to look a little rough. So just give Hicks some time. Let's see what CRW looks like. But I'm worried, like you said, Lee, about what they need to fix is that they had opportunities to fix the safety room, to fix the defensive tackle room, to fix the running back room, quote unquote, and they did not do it. So at this point, there's not much you can fix. You just have to hope that the season is that everything plays out the way they expected it to.
Yeah. And kudos again to Anthony. His chart shows the snaps. This snap chart is the depth chart. It is Chamari and Cook, then Jaden, then Roland Wallace. Mike Edwards is a distant fifth and will be asked to not sign somewhere else. We're going to let you go. We're going to put you on the practice squad. Yeah. I think he's probably going to take that on. But the interesting thing to me comes down at corner, and I know Lee asked about corners as well. This is what pissed me off last night to no damn end. I was ready to get a look, especially with the injuries. Najee and Noel being out there, I have no problem with. When your top three aren't going to play, okay, fine. Again, I think this is all planning for the future, for next week and for Brazil in particular.
Yeah.
But this is what made me angry. A, Josh Williams just pissed me off.
Yep.
At that level of play, he should be able to dominate. You've played against the best in this league and at least been able to walk away with your head up that you didn't get your butt totally kicked. Threes were beating you last night, Joshua. Bobo ran away from you because you couldn't time your head turn. You know better than this, and I'm angry at this point. And the thing that just compounded that is the guy that I wanted to see get some reps so that I could evaluate him was Kevin Knowles, and he got two. They played lower players over him, and I don't understand it. Carter Covington-Hearn not going to be on this roster, not going to be on the practice squad. I don't know what the hell was going on in the secondary last night.
The whole secondary was kind of irritating me. And unfortunately, some of the things that we probably could have prevented. Noah Williams got hit in the head multiple times last night. The first time, he should have come off the field. If this was about not pushing it too much, when he got hit and didn't get up very quickly, he should have come off the field immediately. This cannot happen. It can't happen. But he got hit again later, and he now is in concussion protocol. So hopefully he's fine. But at the end of the day, if this is a game that you don't care about and it looks like that, play all of the players who are not going to make this roster. Play all of them. I don't care when they play. I really don't. If you're going to play with that kind of mentality anyway, all of them should be getting run. Every single one. Issa Pole should have been getting second team left tackle run. Should have been doing it. So again, if it was the plan to not play them until next week, they executed this as well as they executed their plan in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree with you. Minotaur, glad you made it. I'm seeing some others. Big Dome, I talked about Ashton earlier. Ashton's a better player right now than FAU is. That's just the truth. In terms of
effort-wise, for sure.
Yeah, in terms of pass rush. Now, FAU, I think, has more bulk, and he has learned to play the run a little bit better, and I think Ashton's still got to learn that as well. But there, I didn't want you to miss it if you were late to the show. So let me make sure that I got that out of the way. Now, Swag, I know Swag had a couple, so I'm gonna let you ride this. This team has no fire, great. And I'm sorry, but Andy and the 4th and 1 was ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel bad. It's Burton all over again. Hey, guess what? It's a short yardage play. We're gonna run a fullback dive. Like absolutely no variation. It was this. I understand because it was the preseason, but I can't say, Swag, that this was all Andy. I think this was the plan, and I think the players were told what the plan was.
Yeah, I understand. It's hard to watch something like that, especially when I know I saw someone saying that the Seahawks weren't a middling team because they were 10-7. If you figure 14 teams make the playoffs, they're about a middle of the pack team, and they missed the playoffs last year. So yes, that's how that works. And they're going to be trying to make the playoffs this year. Again, middle of the pack, trying to make a wild card spot. They're not going to win that division. So we have to think about that. But the effort that they played with is emblematic of what you want to watch in the preseason, specifically from your backups. You want them to play that way. And it's tough. It's tough when you go out there and you guys stay up until 9-10 o'clock to watch preseason games, to get excited about players that you want to see reps of, and then they show, in for a lack of better terms, show their ass that way. It wasn't fun to watch by any stretch. But I'm not going to tell anybody to lose sleep over it. I'm not going to tell anybody to be worried about what this team is by a preseason performance. Let's not forget how the 2012 season went after, Matt Castle was lighting it up and, you had all that stuff. In the regular season, what did they do? They were the worst team in football and prompted a complete regime change and brought in Andy Reid. So let's try to remember that the Detroit Lions went 4-0 in the preseason right before they went 0-16. We got it. There's a microcosm here about preseason football and what it actually translates. If they are playing week 1, week 2, and the starters have no fire and you can feel it, we can have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. And as far as your comment on having high expectations, I'm exactly the same, Swag. I expect that if you are 2 on a Super Bowl team, you're ready to become a starter. When you get your opportunity, you grab it by the horns. Nobody did that. And that's where I was frustrated. Thanks, Swag. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate the support. I think you got most of our thoughts on the secondary. I'm sorry I didn't see this at the time, but
Yeah.
any other takeaways for you, Dan?
No Williams is that dude. No Williams is that dude. Andy Reid was talking about him after last preseason game. I know he got hurt. I'm sure he's going to be okay. But everyone's probably going to point out the penalties. I don't care. You guys,
No.
if you have watched me since the Brashad Breeland days, you know I don't care about a little hold here, a little hands to the face there. I want that stuff. I want you playing physically. I want to see what you can get away with, because you want to know when that's not going to be called? In the postseason, when it matters. And no Williams is going to get in that guy's face, and he does not care. I want that. That is the guy. Go for it.
No. I was just going to agree with you, but I want to remind everybody this is the same conversation we had about Jalen Watson. Sorry, because he was really grabby. He was getting PIs.
Yeah,
and he evolved into a guy that now we need to trust, right? So
for sure,
this is a similar pathway. I think they're doing the thing that they do. This is not a departure.
Yeah, and No Williams, by the way, is a way better player than Jalen Watson is. Yeah. So I'm excited about him. I am worried about the depth, obviously, with the injuries. It's going to be, you have to put a lot onto somebody who was not on the team last year, who was on the PUP list to start the training camp, and Christian Fulton, and that puts them in a bind specifically, especially if you got to play. They actually might have to play Trent McDuffie more in the nickel, specifically because CRW is going to have to play safety now. I don't want that. I want him on the outside, specifically because of the injuries that we're seeing, because he's the best option they have and it helps them. But I don't know, man. I'm a little bit worried.
I am too, but I do have faith that they can pull it together. And we have to remember, they have to get to week 1, and the young guys are going to start to come together too, much like we saw Watson come on, and we saw, McDuffie missed the first 5 games. And so he was behind the curve, and he was still able to catch up. There is still learning that happens once the season goes on. Even if you're down with the 2s, you're not playing with the 1s. There's still an ability to improve. So don't worry about that. And thank you, Andrew. We appreciate you. Mr. Pena, thank you. Do you think that it's possible Nico doesn't make the roster, since Rice might start the year with the team, which he, I think, will at this point? They seem like Thornton a lot, maybe Royals or Knoll. I will tell you, Jalen Royals hurt Nico's chances last night.
Yes, he did.
It's difficult because Tyquan can be on the roster and contribute as a gunner and as a receiver. Now, if Jalen could make running backs work, now he can contribute as both too. And right now, Nico is not ready, I don't think, to contribute. Now, if we see him with the 1s and Mahomes throws him a ball and all of a sudden he's ready to make first downs, even if it's only as a possession type, like Khalil Shakir kind of role, that changes things yet again. But right now, Nico's a returner. He's not a threat on offense.
Correct. And again, we thought that he was going to be locked in as the return guy, but when you've got Jalen Royals back there making plays, even though Williams had a kick return 2 weeks ago, like he's out there too. And Nico is effectively not doing anything. He hasn't done anything this preseason, which again, you have to keep doing it. You have to continue to do what you've done in the seasons past to get your spot as a back end guy. You have to keep doing it and show a little bit more. With Jalen Royals' ability to play on the offense and contribute that way, unfortunately, Tyquan Thornton's not really hurting his chances as a returner, because he looked dreadful as a returner, because he's not shifty in the slightest. He is a straight line athlete, and he always has been. So that idea never really made a lot of sense to me. But you've got Noel back there. Yes, exactly. Gunner, perfect spot for him. And he can contribute in those ways. And he already is a better receiver than Nico is, which is the problem. So it's gotten to the point where they are going to see more options elsewhere that can contribute on offense. And Andy's going to make those final decisions, regardless of I think Nico being Dave Tobe's guy. If he has realistic other options and Andy says, I like what he can do offensively, that's where they will probably end up.
As far as the top 6, this is also another position that I feel the snap counts in this second preseason game directly reflect the reality of what the depth chart is. It is the top 3, followed by Juju, Jalen right behind him, and Tyquan as the 6th. Now, the question is, who did the most with all these snaps that the three guys fighting for one position got? I don't know. I think Sky probably did the least. I think they might have been trying to hide Brownlee. Brownlee made absolutely a
I
terrible adjustment on a
was
decent go
very
ball
weird.
that Zappy threw him. I don't know. I don't right now I don't have an answer. I don't know if Brownlee was a mirage last week or if he just did the one thing that he can do, which is jump balls to the outside. Like he has that skill. And if you're not going to use it, it doesn't make him very valuable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and dog on Sky Moore, guys. That's not gonna happen. You can do that on your own time. I feel legitimately bad for the guy. So I that's all I'll say about that. He will be cut, and I don't know if he'll be on an NFL roster. Maybe he'll be in the UFL last year. He needs to do something to get his confidence back because it's gone.
Yeah.
But in terms of making the roster, with this whole Rashee Rice situation being handled very weirdly, I might add. I don't know that you're going to see Brownlee make the roster. He had to do again when you make a play like that last week, you got to one up in terms of production, getting open. Didn't do that this week. I think it's pretty safe to say that Tyquan Thornton is probably your last guy on the roster.
Yeah. That's fair. Jeremy asked a good question. It's like it was asked last week, and you guys disagree. Tanyan or Thornton? And I'm just going to say yes.
That's exactly. See, I still side with Tanyan being the better player and being more available this year. But at the end of the day, they're both probably going to be on the roster.
Yeah. And sadly to say, they're both needed, Jeremy. They're both needed at this point.
Yep.
Because
Oh,
holy cow. And his other question was reassuring the defense we saw last night was not our defense. And I can only
it
do
wasn't.
this to help you out because what you see is no, this is the offensive side. Sorry. Did not play, 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 did not play.
Yeah, fun.
The best players at every level of the defense were not on the field last night. So I hope that gives you a little bit of solitude
Yeah.
there, Jeremy. Reassurance, possibly. I don't know. Lydia, I know Onel had a bad ankle, but does he look decent as a run defender? I know this is his first step burst, and he added some weight. I actually had him in my notes quite a bit as taking on doubles better, not getting pushed out better.
Yeah.
He was still penetrating at least early until the ankle flared up again. I was encouraged. I'm a little worried that this is like you've been idling this engine for 4 years in college,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden you want to go 100 miles an hour. Like I'm a little worried the ramp up is going to be a little too drastic for him.
I'm actually a little more worried that his ankle is going to keep getting worse because they've added more weight to him. It's a frame
Mhm.
that's not used to playing at the weight that he's at, and now you've aggravated something, and he's continuing to aggravate it. He's playing it that way, and again, when you're taking on double teams, where do you think that's going? It's your ankles and your knees and your hips. You have to be able to do all of that by taking on power and absorbing it and redistributing it to your lower half. So, yes, he's gotten better at all of that. I think that he's allowing linebackers to do what they're supposed to do. When you can take on double teams, linebackers can be more successful. He's never going to disengage. That's fine. I don't need him to do that as a double team player. Just take on blocks. But I'm more worried that the injury is going to keep going. And I think that, again, he's getting better as a true defensive tackle. But this year, you might see him out there like he was out there with Tennessee
Mm.
because of the injury itself, which it does make me upset.
Yeah. I think he will be DT2 next year, by the way.
Yeah,
And Dylan, shouting out Minotaur for doing what Minotaur does. Thank you,
of
buddy.
course.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Dylan, for
Thank
pointing him
you.
out. And Minotaur for giving away the memberships. And we're going to be transitioning some things. So be on the lookout there for a bit. We're not going to go heavy into Sky because there's no reason to kick a guy when he's down. But
Yeah.
this is a good point, Frankie. When you're in year 4 and you're still telling yourself, I need to catch the ball with my hands instead of my chest plate, that's a problem. That's that you're doing all the wrong things to prepare for this season.
And he's
So,
gone backwards. That's what he used to do in college. Like,
yeah,
remember the whole talking point about him was that he doesn't drop the football. All he's
right.
done the past couple of seasons is drop the football. And there's nothing else to say except that's mental. It's all
Yeah,
mental.
yeah. That is purely something that can be controlled by the player. He just has to go do that. Okay, so Doug, you picked up on something that I said last night too. I actually felt the explosion from Pops last night on that
Yeah.
that little swing pass, whatever it was. I just don't know if it's sustainable. He's going to get nicked up. He runs hard. He's going to lose his what I think is probably like peak physicality right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but if that works, how did that change anything for you? Feeling like how we're going to at least start the season?
I hope so, because again, they have to, I still think they have to run the ball better. That's, I mean, every team, one, they're going to do it to you, and they're going to make your defense exhausted. How are you going to pay that? You can't go down and score in 2 plays. You can't do that all the time. So I think that they have to run the ball better. And Pop being healthy, at least close to it to start the year, is going to help them out the most because of everybody else on the roster, especially if you don't trust Elijah Mitchell and you still think that Brashard Smith's more of a dual threat player, and Kareem Hunt's already hurt and not playing, and he's best short yardage anyway. Pacheco has to be the guy almost again by default, the guy that we thought was going to get all of that work last year, and then he got hurt. I think that you might end up seeing that sooner rather than later, and he's got to be healthy for it. But
Cut
that's
downs
what we
in
got to
10
do.
days. Need a running back, need a defensive tackle, need a corner that can stay healthy. I don't know if everybody's going to get back. Jalen Watson did get cleared, so he was
Okay.
held out by precaution because he's one of the starting three. But you might have to go get a corner now. You might have to do that at cutdowns. I don't know.
Yup.
Do you think Spags is wrong about Williams, who is a natural corner? I assume you mean Joshua. Nas
Nope.
Johnson needs to go back to safety and stay there. Is Noel
Oh yeah.
Williams ready to go in sometime for a baptism? Wrong about Joshua in terms of what Joshua is? No, I don't think he was wrong. I think they overestimated what Joshua was going to be able to become. His progression has not happened. Not that they were wrong about the evaluation. Najee could go to safety. I'm comfortable with CRW there, especially if you're going to use him and Chamari to move in and out, to kind of rumble around and keep quarterbacks guessing. But Najee could. I do believe that. And Noel, if he clears concussion protocol, I think he will be their fourth corner right now. I think he should be playing ahead of Najee, to tell you the truth.
I would put him above Jalen Watson too. I personally would, but that's my opinion. I know that the experience is going to be more valuable to Spags and company. If he gets beat a couple of times like he was last year, it's going to go to Noel real quick if he's cleared of concussion protocol.
Yeah. Terry, I know you got here a little bit late, and Andrew, we talked about Carson earlier in the show. Looks like he should be on this roster at this point in lieu of Mitchell. What was the other question? Carson Kingsley. Yeah, we talked a lot about Kingsley. Needs more time to continue his progression as well. Unfortunately, we're going to see some progression during the season now because it doesn't look like they're going to give him much time. It's going to be what it is. Mr. Kleinerwissen, thanks, Will. I hope I got close. How crazy would it be to try to or play Remigio in more of a running back role, jet sweeps, wheel routes, etc.? Does the returner vision translate to running back vision? No, it does not. But you're not talking about running back vision. When you're running jets and wheels, you are out in space. That is not running back vision. You're not looking for a hole. You're not trying to find the angles to cut off of. So if they got to that point, and I was a little surprised with the little pitch pass to Smith last night, but like if they keep Smith and they keep Remigio, which I don't see a reason to that's like 2 for 1 basically.
Yeah.
I think that is something you could ask Nico to do. I just don't know how effective he'll be because I haven't seen him even try it.
Yeah, going like east and west is a little bit different than going just pure north and south. One, because you have to be able to turn the corner and then find the space. So you see all those things. I personally just don't think it's a good idea for Remigio, who's never ever done it in his life, to do more of that, especially if you have a redundancy. It's almost like a redundancy. Like just you already have Brashard Smith doing all of those things now, and Remigio's only option would be to do the same things. For me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But if another team wanted to do that with him, you'd take maybe a year to get him comfortable, but I would understand that.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate the support. Glad you made a
Thank you,
live stream.
Nathan.
Who does Veach trade to annoy Spags this year? Thomas, hey, that's a good point. Who would you trade for realistically? Oh, I have not been keeping up on the supposed trade bait this preseason because I think most of it's BS. I I, I don't think any of it's real, but you got to look at teams that are deep in a given position that you're looking for, right? Guys that are going to be in a similar situation to what the Chiefs are wide receiver. Like there are teams that are going to want Jason Brownlee, right? Just because he made one play in preseason. And if the Chiefs cut him, I don't know that they'll get him back. But you'd have to go out there and look. Trading for would be another thing that maybe it doesn't fit the scheme. So trading for a single high safety or trading for a speed rusher like Uche, Nathan, would be exactly what would annoy Spags, I think.
It's tough to answer these questions in terms of trading and free agent you're going to want because I don't know who's going to be cut. And I've made this point last week where I don't have the bandwidth to keep up with whatever team is doing. I have a family. By the way, we're not moving on time. The military pushed our move date out, and so we had to reschedule all of our stuff to be delivered in an extra almost 2 weeks from when we were supposed to. So we're still in my in-laws' house, and I don't have the mental stability right now to do all of that. I have zero interest in wanting to, but when players are cut, when players are released, I'll have a far better opportunity for that. And no offense, Jonathan, current free agents, no, that they're not here
No.
for a reason. I don't want anything to do with it. And plus, I know lots of people are asking about Asante Samuel Jr. I've answered this question a lot. Absolutely not. Big no. Small, doesn't want to play defense. He only wants to get his hands on the football. That's all. Legitimately, all he wants to do is create interceptions. That's it. I don't want
Yeah.
guy who's just only going to do that. And Spags doesn't either.
Because you give up more yardage, more receptions in the meantime.
Correct.
It's a net negative in the end. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate you. Mahomie, who would you play right now in nickel? Assume everyone is healthy. If everyone's healthy, the best nickel on this roster is Trent McDuffie, but I don't want to play him there. So I personally would play CRW. Chris Roland Wallace
Same answer.
Yeah, okay. So the best five in my mind include the three, Watson, Fulton, McDuffie. And I would probably play Noah Williams. And if CRW is nickel, then I'd play him there. If not, Nazi probably be 5 for me right now. What do you think?
That's fair. I think that and Nazi didn't play terribly last night. I don't think he played bad, and I think he did what he did best. That he did better than Josh Williams, who's been in that situation a lot more than Nazi Johnson has, where he didn't panic. Josh Williams panicked, and Nazi said, "I'm not going to be able to turn around and find the football. I'm going to attack the catch point." That's
Right?
exactly what he did.
Right?
Josh Williams said, "Oh, I don't know where the football is." Instead of looking at the catch point and attacking it, he got turned around because he was worried about where the football was. If you are already past the point of no return, you can't turn around. And Josh
And
Williams was past the point of no return.
yeah, and that's a feel you have to have for the route. When you know that
Yep.
he's running that hard and the route is taking
Yep.
that much speed, you don't have time to turn around. You have to play the catch point because you're
Correct.
running to the sideline where the ball is aimed, and he ought to know that by now. Oh, sorry. He's in my Sante's medicals. Yeah, no, we're not going there because the medicals today will not be the medicals tomorrow, bro. Thank you, Minotaur. Beyond Blessed, thank you. It's been a while. Well,
Thank you.
welcome back. Very nice to see you. Thanks so much for all the work you do bringing us the best Chiefs content. And here's for another year of making the league cry. I like the way you think, my friend.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you for your support. We appreciate you. Red, you guys have had the questions, but I did I hear right? The NFL wants to give Rice 10-game suspension. You did not hear that, Rice. That's just Florio talking out one side of his face. It might be somebody does. Maybe it's the commish, right? I don't know. But I don't think either the NFLPA or the people outside of Roger Goodell that want to discipline in this league are really pushing for that. There's really nothing that says that it would be like that. No punishments that have been handed down before would warrant that as by comparison. Is what I'm saying.
There's no precedent. There is no precedent for this. And there never has been. We have kind of a similar situation with Jordan Addison, but he was drunk. Okay.
Right.
He was drunk. This is a different situation. It's still dangerous. It's still stupid to do it. But Rashee Rice was not drunk, guys. He was not illegally behind the vehicle. He was doing something that was illegal, yes, but he was not already belligerently drunk. So
Yeah.
there's no precedent that suggests a 10-game suspension for this situation makes sense. And even if it's true, okay, even if it's true, that is why they are going to the arbitration route, because the NFLPA and Rashee Rice says, yo, whoa. There's no there's no room for error. Deshaun Watson got 11 games, guys. 11 games. Hear that in your head. And the
Yeah.
NFL wants to give Rashee Rice 10? No. That would be the worst outcome for the NFL. They would say that they care less about sexual assault and possibility of rape than they do about this. And again, it's still illegal. It's still dumb. It does not excuse.
Nope.
Immediate remorseful and tries to go correct his actions. And then there's Deshaun Watson, who has completely said he's innocent, which we all know is not true, but you can't set that precedent. You can't.
Yeah. I still feel this comes down between 4 and 6 games, and it could even be reduced on appeal. But this whole thing about the negotiation and coming to a quote unquote settlement is very interesting, especially now that the NFLPA has put their lead lawyer on. I don't know if they call it suspension, but he's on vacation. He ain't working. Yeah. He's not working this deal. So I'm very interested to see what happens, and I have no way to predict it, Red. But thank you for bringing it up. Only nice. Pole looked as good as last week. I think he did.
Yep.
I think he was good dealing with speed around the edge. I think he outplayed Wanya Morris yet again. I would keep him over Morris right now in terms of upside.
I would too. And Morris keeps playing poorly against second and third stringers. Like right? He's going the opposite way.
We'll see what happens in game 3 and who gets what matchup. Maybe Pole actually gets to play against twos. I would like to see him and Wanya on the field at the same time. I would like to see them be the two ends and see who comes at them so that you can get an apples to apples pass rush look. That's what
agreed.
Minotaur, thank you again, buddy. Would you guys compare Rashard Smith closer to Charkandrick West or to McKinnon? I remember some amazing plays from West. Yeah, West was slippery. Man, Smith honestly has more lateral speed than both of them and more change of direction ability. He's closer to Tyreek in terms of that.
I think he's closer to pre-injury McKinnon. Like that's where I see this, because McKinnon had to learn to be a much better pass protector because, one, he wasn't as explosive. So how is he going to get on the field in third downs? He has to be able to take on blocks better. So I don't think McKinnon was ever like a fantastic pass protector early in his career. But he was always a bit better than Rashard Smith. I would still probably liken him closer to early career McKinnon than Charkandrick West, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. Thanks, Minotaur, and great question. I forget about Charkandrick probably more than I should, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Dub Freak, thank you for giving out memberships yet again. If you got one, I saw people thanking him. So if you got one,
it's awesome.
Thank Mr. Dub. And you're looking like Zamet to me right now in that picture there, Dub. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe I just got the screen res up or something. I don't know. But Zamet went back to rugby for anybody who didn't see it. Wasted potential, in my opinion. I love this, Frankie. Have you been watching Fight Club? Because I just watched it the other night, and the line about Abraham Lincoln in there like really stood out to me too. Abraham is a nickel. I don't know if he could get down and turn, bro. I don't know. We'll see. Callie from the top rope. How you doing, pal? Jaden Hicks not really ready at this point, or what's the deal? And Callie, we talked about this earlier before you made it. Just think that the transition to be an all-around is taking a little longer than Spags had wanted, to tell you the truth. Otherwise,
and they're going to use him in a lot of different ways in the preseason, then they might not do it in the regular season. So he's going to get more exposure to maybe something he's not as comfortable with now, but know that they're going to have a much better role for him, I think, in the regular season because they already know what his strengths are. So they're trying to test out some of his weaknesses, see what he can do, see what he can't do. I think regular season, they're going to have a better plan for it too.
Yeah, like I'm going to go back and rewatch today and try to take a look at alignments because I want to see what they're playing with.
Yeah.
Dub, thank you again for even more support. Hey guys, tried staying up to watch the game, but with 3 a.m. start time in the UK, I don't blame you a bit.
No, not at all.
Was disappointed with the lack of effort for some players. Realistically, is there any other team scraps we could pick up on waivers? Not yet, but at cut down day, yes. I believe they will make a couple of acquisitions, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I think they might have to.
Yeah, there's really no way around it. The question is going to be, are they going to try to actively pull someone onto the 53, or are they going to sign guys to the practice squad that they can then elevate depending on Rice and when and all that stuff, right? That's what I'm really intrigued by, Dub, and I have a feeling it's more the latter, but I could be wrong. They have room at a couple of positions, including running back and defensive tackle, where they could make a signing of somebody that was cut from a good unit that should be directly on the 53. It is a possibility.
There's a couple of those in positions, especially with the injuries. If you have to worry more about safety now and corner and defensive tackle, there's a realistic possibility that they add guys that are rotational players from other teams' rosters at cut down day, because their plan of attack, again, we talked about this, it wasn't great for those three positions in terms of, safety and defensive tackle. I don't think their plan was great. They attacked corner. They drafted, they brought in Fulton. So there was precedent set there for them to be comfortable. Injuries, maybe not so much. And obviously Josh Williams play.
Yeah, I don't think that they could predict that, to tell you the truth.
No.
Even from what they've seen. So thanks, Dub. Get some sleep, buddy. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Last one, and Dylan, we talked about this the other week. Dan, has anything changed for you?
I'm still at 12-5. I think that's not only going to win the AFC West, it'll be in contention for the best record in the AFC because it's a dogfight. This AFC is still very, very, very good. So I think it'll be up there, but 13-4 is easily within the realm of possibilities. Realistically, I think 14-3, 13-4, 12-5 are all very realistic outcomes for this team. But I'm siding on the lower one based off of some of the uncomfortableness I have in some of the other areas of the football team.
Fair enough. I'm going 13-4 still. Nothing's changed for me in the preseason. I just think the O-line will get sorted out enough for Pat to go scorched earth, and I do feel that is part of his mentality this year. Like, if you want me to throw deep, I will throw deep now that I have some speed. So let's go for it. But I reserve the right to revise my prediction. So we will get to that, and we'll give you a breakdown after game 3 as well. I hope you guys are having a good day. Thanks for hanging in with us. 500 folks on a Saturday morning. That's not too terrible, especially if you don't happen to be in Central or Eastern time like Dan is now.
Yeah, it's almost 2 p.m. here.
Son of a. Okay, well, I'm going to go finish my breakfast and get more coffee. So cheers, everyone. Have a great day. And Dan, thank you for everything. Any last thoughts?
No, guys, just, again, try to come off the ledge. That's all I'm going to tell you, because it's frustrating in the moment. Absolutely. I live tweet. I have to tell myself this every game. I need to stop live tweeting before halftime. I have to stop doing it because it doesn't allow me to really take in what's going on. So I'm going to do a better job of not live tweeting in frustration, unless something is so bad that I can't help it. But overall, try to come off the ledge. It is the preseason. If this team looks a little bit different during the regular season than you're used to, okay, we'll talk about it. But let's try to relax a little bit and see through the keyhole of what the Chiefs season will actually look like with their starters.
Nothing is effed here. Everything's okay.
No, okay.
They are 0-0 still. All is well. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you guys on Monday.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.